Hi, I'm delighted to be joined today by one of our amazing franchise owners. I'm here with Alix Purton. Hi, Alix. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Alix and I run the franchise in Sevenoaks, Biggin Hill, Hayes and Orpington, which is on the South London-Kent borders.
Fantastic. And you've got a really interesting background, Alix. Tell us a little bit about what you did before you were inspiring people with Creation Station.
Um, for 30 years, I was a primary school teacher. Probably for about the last 15 to 20 years of those, I was management. And I'd always said when I started teaching, I was not going to be full-time once I reached 50. So amazing that year came and I went part-time and actually really enjoyed the freedom of those couple of days. And I was losing something because I wasn't there every day. I was losing something, that spark, it had gone. And we had an Ofsted, and I realised after the Ofsted that actually I'd lost more than a little something. It was time to move on. It was time to move on. I didn't feel that I wanted to be accountable anymore. I wanted to be creative. I wanted to be free. And it was because I was part-time that I actually saw an article in the back of one of the newspapers on franchises, and it featured the Creation Station. And I read this article and thought, oh, well, yeah, that's got my name on it. Maybe next year when I think about leaving, that's something I could do. And so I sent for the pack and sort of put it away. Didn't let my husband or my son know anything about it because this was just tentative browsing. But I didn't realise that had actually started the wheels in motion. I got a phone call from Maggie and I had the chat, and I was invited to the Discovery morning, and I had to then come clean and tell the boys what I'd done. And it just kind of went from there. And once I'd told them, and they both said, "You sound happier than you've sounded for a long time. Do it." And I hadn't even done it. I was only talking about it. That was it. I handed my notice in before I even went to Discovery morning. So yeah, that was a really big move. 25 years in the same school that was as well. So massive move. Yeah.
There's paths in our lives, aren't there? Sometimes people say it's like stepping off a cliff, a big leap. But actually, I think we often just come to crossroads, and there's times when we just know it's time to choose another path.
It was scary though. It was scary because I was financially stable. I'd got a pension. I knew what each day was going to bring. But actually, at the same time, that was a rut and a path that was too well trodden. I needed something new. I didn't know what I needed, but I needed something new. So yeah, here I am.
Good for you. I think it takes courage to change, and of course, the last 10 months we have used a lot of courage.
Yes, it's been an interesting year.
Absolutely. How has it been for you? Because of course, you invested in your business.
I invested and did my training the end of September 2019. So I was officially launched on the 4th of October, yeah. But I was still working. I didn't actually leave teaching until Christmas. So, okay.
So Alix, you've been really busy. You've really made the most of the opportunities that lockdown have provided to support the local community. Can you tell me what you've been doing, please?
Throughout last year, I was providing filmed craft activity as part of the online service that our church was running each week. So obviously we couldn't be in church and they wanted something. So each week I was recording them an activity for that. I've done quite a bit with a couple of local charities, a lot of stuff just that wasn't bringing income in, but was helping people and just getting out there and seeing people, whether it was on Zoom or recorded. And then this term, when the schools announced they weren't going back again and it was winter and people couldn't play in the gardens and go to the park, I put my Create clubs online, and whoosh, they took off over a period of 24 hours, all from one school mostly. And I now see over 50 children in 5 clubs across the week. And I've got birthday parties coming out of that, and I'm busy for the next few weeks. So I'm really hoping that with the new announcements, I'll be able to transfer a lot of that back to face, or keep those children online and get some new face-to-face, because they love their online classes and they look forward to them. I've got 5 children who've been with me a year now online, which is just amazing. And they're like family. They see me, and it's so exciting. Their little faces, you know. I've lost a tooth this week, and this is my cat, and I'm part of it. I'm part of it. It's lovely.
It's really nice. And I know that all of the work that you've been putting down and the community connections that you've made now, Alix, will really stand you in good stead for when we can go back face to face.
Yes, yes.
Be there for those face-to-face parties and clubs. It's going to feel like Christmas, isn't it? Just
I think so. Yes, yeah. It's exciting. There are lots of things coming in. There's lots of things in the pipeline. Things that didn't happen last year that were going to happen. I've already been contacted by people and saying we'd like you to do this year, and it's yes, I'm back out there. So I am getting quite excited about that. Yes.
Brilliant.
I'm a little apprehensive at the same time because, as I said, I only really got 7 weeks of going out there. So it feels like starting again, but with a year's experience behind it.
Absolutely. And as you know, no one is by themselves. We've got the infrastructure, we've got the systems, we've got the training, we have the expertise between us to make sure that we go back carefully, cautiously, one step at a time, and really look after the health and welfare of everybody connected. And
that has been amazing this year. The weekly Zoom catch-ups through the summer. I mean, the support you've given us, the training, the turning the plans around to make everything COVID secure. So when we were able to get back for that very, very small window.
And the future is looking, as you say, what's your lovely catchword, Alix? It's always full of sparkles whenever Alix.
Yes, yeah, I'm hoping to get my sparkle back again. I'd lost it. I lost it briefly last year, but it's coming back in bucket loads. Yeah.
Brilliant. And we're thrilled to have you part of our network. You always bring a positivity, a helpful hand, and you add so much value to our network.
Oh, thank you. I am actually known for never being able to say no to anything. So I think I think this year you've really seen that side of me.
We have, and we're very grateful for it.
Thank you.
Keep safe, and no doubt we'll talk on our next Zoom, which is actually tomorrow.
Yes, probably.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Alix. Take care.
Bye.
Send our love. Hi, I'm here with the amazing Alix Purton, who runs her creation station in South London and the Kent border. Alix, can you tell us what made you invest in your own creation station franchise?
I'd been a teacher. I'd been a teacher for 30 years, 25 years in the same school. I loved the creative teaching. I loved the art lessons, all of that part of it. And gradually that was being squeezed out. I wasn't able to be quite as creative as I wanted to be. I was having to be more accountable to Ofsted and people like that. And I went part-time, and largely I'm here with you because of that, because I just flicking through a newspaper one day, I think it was in the dentist's waiting room or somewhere, and there was an article on franchises, and the creation station was featured. So I read this article and thought, that's got my name on it. So that's something I could think about in the future. At that stage, I didn't realise I was ready to do it completely. I hadn't realised I was ready to give up teaching then. And I sent for the information pack. I just didn't tell anyone. I didn't talk about it at home. I didn't talk about it to my friends. It's just something I was finding out about. But I'd already sown those seeds, and I got the phone call from Maggie about coming to a discovery morning, and I got an invitation to a discovery morning, and suddenly it was real. So I had to come clean, tell the family what I was doing, and it just rolled from there. Discussion around the dinner table. Mum, you seem happier just talking about this. My husband said, you're sparkling again, do it. So I did it. I handed my notice in with nothing to go to. I hadn't been to my discovery morning. I didn't know whether I was going to be accepted. I didn't know if it was going to happen, but I by then had realised if I didn't make that leap, I wasn't going to make that leap. So I did it. Yeah. That was quite a shock to everyone at school. 25 years of that, and no more Alix. Yeah.
Brilliant. And obviously we know COVID has been a bit of a curveball for us all. What's it been like running a franchise during that period? Because I know you trained a few months before COVID hit. So
Yes.
what has that roller coaster been like in terms of running a franchise business?
I think because I did my training in October, end of September, early October 2019. So I'd had a few months to kind of get my head around it, but I was still teaching at the time. So I didn't really go all out completely until the new year 2020. But I'd already got a bit of idea behind me. I'd been able to read all the policies and the paperwork and get all that in place, which I think was a really good way of starting it. I had 6 really lovely, successful weeks in January and a very full diary coming up when lockdown hit us. And I felt cheated. I felt like somebody had snatched away this wonderful dream. I also felt panic stricken, I think, slightly, because I'd, obviously thrown away job security, a pension, a regular income, and here I was just drifting around the house every day, not really knowing what my function was. And once I got over that, I worked out what my function was, and my function was to stop being so silly and get on with it. And I therefore threw myself into things. I actually did a birthday party on the house party app just 3 days into lockdown, because no way was I giving a refund on that one. And that little girl was having her birthday. There was two things. I needed the money and she needed to celebrate. So I threw something together on a day's notice and surprised myself, because I probably am the least technical person in the world. And I thought, okay, I've done that. I can do this. Zoom has been a godsend. I mean, how businesses can cope without that. 10 years ago, I don't think we'd have had businesses, because we wouldn't have been able to keep going. So that's been brilliant. I've done loads of things on Zoom. I've put all my classes on Zoom. I've been recording things and sending them out to charities and churches and just doing lots of community stuff. But to me, that was a way of letting people see who I am and what I was doing as well. The franchise itself has just been really great. At least I wasn't setting up my own business where it was just me and my kitchen sink and my computer. I've got this amazing background and all the other franchise owners who we can bounce off ideas. We can share that worked, this didn't work, don't try that, oh, give this a go. Head office support, you're there, on the phone, on the Zooms each week. So being part of a franchise business has actually been a really good thing. It's meant that I've known that this will work. This isn't just me floundering in the dark trying to set up something that I dreamed about. This is me floundering in the dark with somebody else's dream helping me get through it.
And certainly over 50 kids in your after-school clubs, birthday parties, events that you're doing. I wouldn't say you're floundering, Alix.
Not now. No. I think sort of round about September, the schools went back, and I thought, right, things can happen, and they did. They just really did happen, yes. And 50 children each week in after-school clubs, all on Zoom, and I must say, going around delivering their packs is just so lovely. I did it the other day in the freezing cold and the remnants of the snow, and the welcome I was getting. They hadn't seen anyone, they hadn't seen their families at Christmas, and here I was 3 weeks later, and they were opening the doors. Oh, Alix, hello. And, the mums were sort of almost grabbing me in for a coffee. Oh, it's an adult. It was just lovely. So 5 hours driving around the borough delivering, but it was just seeing those faces and running off and coming back, and I got this for Christmas, and it's just you're part of their family. It's lovely.
Yeah. And I think now, as obviously we've just had the announcement from Boris yesterday as to the roadmap going forward, it does mean that now you've got those tracks laid down, and we know we're going to be inundated with activities and people wanting to get out, as you just said. So all of that work you've been doing will really help local communities, because you'll be there with a whole range of different experiences, safe, and we're going to be putting that plan together of a very secure processes, and training, and our COVID secure training, so that everybody who's involved in those sessions feels really reassured and safe, even as we come out of lockdown.
And that was brilliant in the summer, the training we had there, and knowing that we could go out there confident that we were COVID secure, that things that we were doing were within the guidelines, within the law, that nobody could say you shouldn't, because if we shouldn't, we didn't. None of us took that step out there until we knew that it was okay. And I know this time seems so much lighter, so much fresher, because it is okay. You know, we've got dates now. We didn't have dates before. We had, we might be able to, and maybe tier 4 will end and possibly tier 3 will start. But now, last night, those announcements, I went to bed last night feeling a little bit panicky in a way that I've actually got to get things organised quite quickly, because I don't think we saw it happening as quickly as this. So, you know, we've got 5 weeks, and then we've got 5 weeks, and we've got 5 weeks, and by the summer, dare we say it, but life could almost be normal. So it's quite exciting, but yeah, we're ready. Oh my goodness, we're ready.
Definitely, and we'll be ready together. So we are looking at making sure we collaborate together, and also with other companies as well, that we can work together to bring the whole community back to life again.
Yes.
Alix, we couldn't do it without you as a franchise partner. Your input is always appreciated, from intergenerational sessions to your amazing online Zoom parties for families across the country. So thank you ever so much for just helping us inspire the nation's imagination.
Thank you, and thank you for all the support you've given.
Our pleasure. Take care.
Bye.